Hello and welcome. This is Module 5 of the Crisis Cleanup training. And this module is additional or more advanced information, particularly for phone volunteers. And focusing in on frequently asked questions that we receive from phone volunteers. So just to start right off with question number 1, how do we answer when an individual on the phone or an organization wants to volunteer to either take hotline calls for crisis cleanup or to do property cleanup work for survivors who are requesting help? And for all of these modules, these documents are in the shared drive along with these videos, so you can reference these training documents. But basically, the training document contains guidelines for individuals who are not associated with a volunteer organization for crisis cleanup at all. For individuals who are associated with a registered organization, but not currently registered in crisis cleanup. And then for organizations who are not currently registered in crisis cleanup, it gives instructions to tell them to in general, basically to go to www.crisiscleanup.org and then click on the yellow register button at the bottom left-hand side of the page. It then tells you how to register your organization. And then last of all, for organizations that are registered in crisis cleanup, but they're not able to access the current incident, they need to go to, again, www.crisiscleanup.org. And on the main dashboard page, they can request to redeploy for the current incident. As an FYI for phone volunteers, regardless of whether your associated organization has redeployed for the current incident, all phone volunteers have access to the most recent 2 months current incidents. So if your organization is just doing phone volunteer work, you don't need to redeploy. Okay, question number 2. You get a call from the media or a government agency requesting information. You can refer them to help@crisiscleanup.org or to the Crisis Cleanup support phone line, which is 848-480-0660. Question number 3, advocating for survivors. So sometimes survivors call into the hotline and they are really struggling. They're in a bad situation and you're really concerned about their well-being, about the situation they're in. You wish you could do something more than just take some information down in the system for them, because you can't promise them help. You can't promise if or when people will come. But there are a few additional steps that you can take that may help them out. The first thing is to mark their case as high priority and also add notes in the notes field so that volunteer organizations can see that need. And if you look on a incident, back out of this one. I'm going to show you really quickly. So this is an example right here, this triangle icon with the little exclamation point in it is the icon for any case that's been designated as high priority. And you can do that in the system. Let's say that this person right here calls back in and is expressing their need and is really in a bad situation. You're worried about them. If you look right here at the top of their case information, you're going to see their case information. You're going to see a heart, which organizations can click on if that person is a member of their organization. And right next to it is the mark as high priority case. You can click on that icon and then save that information so that their case shows up as a high priority in the system. Or you can click it again and unclaim it as a high priority case in the system. So the concept behind designating a case as high priority is that work crews will see that icon, they'll try to respond more quickly to those cases. And crisis cleanup does not provide specific procedures to designate who gets to be a high priority and who doesn't. That's very subjective. And remember that if you mark too many cases as high priority, then they won't be taken seriously. So you need to just consider the totality of their circumstances. For physical needs, that's pretty easy to determine high priority. If their house is, flooded with, 2 feet of water, they are living off of Social Security, they have nowhere to go. They have no family and no means for a hotel or, things like that. That type of person would be a good candidate for marking their case as high priority. In addition to that, for needs other than property cleanup, again, the example I just gave, let's say it's an elderly person with a disability, a couple feet of water in their home, they don't have extra money, they live off their Social Security, they don't have family nearby, they need somewhere to stay. Crisis cleanup can't do anything for that, but what you can do is to refer them to 211. 211 is run by the United Way, and most states have 211. And during disasters, if people call in, they know resources that are available for needs such as, somewhere to stay, where are shelters, I can't get my medicine, I have no food, those type of things. You can, anything other than property cleanup, you can refer them to 211. If their area doesn't utilize 211, then we try to put in the news section of the phone page, right here, we would try to put a note for that incident saying, since they don't have 211, here's where you can refer people regarding needs outside of crisis cleanup. Back to marking as a high priority case, it's more difficult to identify cases for emotional and mental needs. And some good advice for this is given by our director, who said, I don't listen for people who are panicking or being demanding. I listen for hopelessness. Those people generally are your high priority cases. And we will just leave it at that and let you as the phone volunteer determine what you think are high priority cases and who are not. One other thing that you can do to advocate for a survivor is you could look, in the surrounding area on the map. And let's say that this case right here, this person has called in, they're in a very dire situation. And here nearby, we have a case that has been claimed by a relief organization. They have claimed it, but they have not yet done the work. So that means that they will be in the area soon. So you could contact that organization and just bring up this person's extenuating circumstances. You cannot force any volunteer organization to do anything, but you could just bring it up and you could just say, since you're going to be in the area, maybe you have an idea, maybe you have a resource, or maybe you could stop by or possibly add that person to your list of homes to help while you're in that area. So how do you find out the contact information for that relief organization? To do this, you go up here to what we call the case specific icons. And we're going to talk about these a little bit later. But for now, I'll just show you the one that we're looking for specifically. In these set of case specific icons, you'll see a flag and a pin, and then you're going to see a little page. And this is the history icon. If you click on that icon, it gives you information of who has made any type of edits on this case. And we do not want to share any of this information with survivors because it's confidential. But whoever created the case, and it was the phone volunteer who added it in the system, that's the person who created the work site. This person claimed the case for Disaster Relief at Work, Inc. So you can hover over their name and it will give you an email address and a phone number for that person. And you can call that person or email that person and let them know the situation. So again, let me iterate this. When you contact an organization, remember you cannot make them do anything. You can explain the need, let them know that you called to see if they had any ideas or capabilities or resources to help that person. Also, do not give any organization or contact information to the survivor. It is confidential. And also, do not tell the survivor that you're going to call a volunteer organization, because this may be setting a false expectation for that survivor. So, history icon will allow you to see someone that you can contact. Okay, question number 4. Callbacks or call downs that go to voicemail. So the system puts cases into calling queues 3 times in an attempt to reach the survivor. If the survivor is unreachable, after the 3rd attempt, the system will mark that case as unresponsive. But let's say that a call is routed to your phone and the phone rings, nobody answers, but it goes to voicemail. What message do you leave? Well, if the hotline is open, and I'll tell you how to discern that here in a minute. If the hotline is still open, you can leave a message stating that you're from the Crisis Cleanup Hotline. You can give them the phone number of the current hotline and tell them they can call back. If it is a call down, reassure them they're still on the list. Now, the current location to find this is on the phone page. In the news section, you'll find current hotlines. You'll see where it's located, the hotline phone number, and when it's going to close. So this hotline is going to close on July 9th. And you can let the person know in their phone message. Now, what if the hotline is closed? What if it is, in this instance, what if it's past July 9th and you get a callback or a call down for this person? So if it's a callback, you can leave a message that the survivor can dial 211 to find resources to help, because at this point, this person has not entered the case in the system. Again, as I repeated before, if 211 is not available in the location of that incident, we try to share an alternate resource in the news section of the phone page. The news section of the phone page. If it's a call down, they already have a case in the system, but we're calling back to see if they need help. On their voicemail, you can reassure them that they're still on the list. And also, you can suggest that they also reach out to 211 or local volunteer groups or faith communities for help. And for both of these situations, it is ideal to add a note in the notes field summarizing what type of voicemail you left for that person. Okay, question number 5. What if you get a wrong number or no answer calls, or this number has been disconnected, etc.? So when you receive these calls, you're still going to have to select a phone status. You are not entering any case information in this system, but you still have to select a status and you still have to save it in this call. So when you click on the status drop-down list, you can, then you can put a note in the notes section, briefly indicating that this is a wrong number or this is a disconnected phone number. And then you can also select here, no answer, out of service, no answer, bad. It says right here, either business, fax, bad, or wrong number. You can select either of those as they apply and save it in the call. Okay. All right. Question number 6. Your caller wants to add a separate case for another person's home. Is this allowed and how is it done? Yes, this is allowed. They can do this, but the caller has to provide the required information for a new case. They have to be able to provide the resident's name, their phone number, their street address, and the type of help they need. They can also add their own phone number if necessary. And right below the phone number field, you can click on this add phone button to add another phone number if needed. And you can add this caller's phone number as well. To add a new case in the system, since the phone system on the phone page, it does not allow you to add a new case. It just gives you a client intake form for the current call you're on. So to add a new phone or to add a new case in the system besides the one that you're currently on, you can go to the work page or the map page. And then if this, by default, of course, this is empty and you can just start typing in information right here. If it's not empty, because you were referring to other cases, you can just click the new case button. It will clear this out and you can start entering a new case right there in the system. Okay, question number 7. The caller asks a question you've never heard before, to which you don't know the answer, and what do you say? Well, if it doesn't have to do with property cleanup or within the scope of what crisis cleanup does, then you can say, I don't know. You can try asking 211 to find the answer to that question. So those are some of the most frequently asked questions that we get from our phone volunteers. Now let's talk a little bit more about some advanced features on the website. First, we're going to talk about viewing or editing case-specific information on the work page and look at the case-specific icons. Then we'll look at additional work page features, the download, filter, layers, and SVI features, and then the My Organization page. So first of all, the case-specific icons located on the work page, which we already showed you one time, but we will show you again. All right. So as you click on the case information, let's see. These icons at the top of the column are called the case-specific icons. All right. So this is your case number. This heart, you can select if it's a member of your own organization. Some organizations like to make sure to help out their own and designate as their own so they know who they are. And then this one, as we discussed before, the triangle with the exclamation point in it is marking a case high priority. Now on the other side, across the column from these are your other case-specific icons, and they're numbered backwards because you will use these icons starting with this side first, moving this way. So let's start with the first icon. And this is called the edit case icon. So when you first click on a case and it shows you information, it's going to show you contact information and the status of the work this person has requested. But let's say that you need to make some edits. Maybe they want to add tarping to that case. I have a hole in my roof. I just found out I need help with tarping. You need to get back to that client intake form where all the information was initially typed in. And to do that, you click on the edit case icon. And this will take you back to that same intake form where you, when you're on the phone page where you're typing in all that information, you can add whatever information that you need, whatever edits you need to make. And then when you're done, you click the save button. So that is the edit case info icon. All right, right next to that icon is a little printer icon. And this is mainly for the use of volunteer organizations who need to print out work order forms for the cases that they have cleaned. And so when you click on this, it prints out a work order form, which will show specifically what that form looks like in Module 6, so they can give it to their work crews. Okay, right next to the printer icon is the share icon. This icon is currently not functioning within Crisis Cleanup. Okay, next to the share icon is the download icon, and clicking this button will download the case information just for the current case that you're looking at, not for all the cases in the incident, just for one case. Now, to open this case in a spreadsheet, you'll have to locate that file that was downloaded and add a .csv to the file name to make it in the form that it can be opened up in a spreadsheet software like Microsoft Excel. Okay, next to this one, next to this download icon is the case history icon, which we brought up earlier. And it will, like we said, it'll give you information about the people who have made additions and edits to a case and who have claimed it. And you can hover over the person's name. It will show you their contact information. And most of the time, this is used by command centers as an example. Maybe they are asking, hey, we're next door to this person and we're right here to help. You guys have this reserved. Can you unclaim it and let us claim it because we're right here, we'll do the work. That's typically what this is used for. But as we stated earlier, it can also be used by phone volunteers, maybe in advocating for a survival or advocating for a survivor, which does not happen that often. Okay, next to the history icon is the jump to case icon. And when you're searching for an icon or a case in the system, you may find the case you want, but it's not showing up. It's not zoomed in on the map. So if you click this icon, it will zoom in as close as possible right to that place on the map so you can see the location of that. Again, this is most useful for command centers looking for cases to reserve for their work crews to work in. Okay, the last flag in the case-specific icons is called the Fix Problem Flag icon. And this icon, as you choose it, it allows you to choose from several different case issues and fix or modify those. So the first issue that you can choose is high priority. Here is another place where you can flag the case as a high priority case. It's in addition to the previous method I showed you of clicking this high priority icon there. It will do the same thing. Issue number 2 under this, and I'll show you this really quickly. Exit out of here. We're going to exit out of the edit mode. We're going to click back on a case here. And when I click the flag icon, it says here, move location, move incident, mark high priority, or report another problem. Choose a problem. So I click on it. So high priority, you can mark it high priority here like we just said. The next one is upset client. This is not currently in use. Next issue is mark for deletion. Now this flags the case for deletion. It will add another little flag, like this one is a high priority flag. It will add another little flag right next to it to say, delete this case. The case is actually not deleted out of the system, but it is a flag marking it as such. Okay, issue number 4, you can choose right here, report abuse. This is not currently in use in the system. Issue number 5, flag as duplicate. Again, when you do this, it'll put another little flag up here saying duplicate. Nothing else happens to the case, but it will flag so that you know there's a duplicate of this case. And in the notes section, you can put this is a duplicate of case number, whatever the case is. Okay. Then we have the wrong location issue. So if a property is located in the wrong place in the map, and sometimes, since this draws from Google Maps, sometimes there are errors. And so you, if you need to fix where this property is located on the map, and rarely would a phone volunteer have to do this. Usually it is volunteer organizations sending out work crews that will do this. But just so that you know, you can refer to this document if you ever need to do it. You would open up a new page in your browser, go to Google Maps, you find the correct location of the property, and you click in the space where the property is located. Then you copy the URL, you paste it right into this field, and then you hit the update location button. If you cannot find the correct location of where this property is located, you would click the black location unknown button. Then you can click the refresh icon at the right up here at the top of your browser page. And that is how you can flag. It should now appear in the updated location on the crisis cleanup map. So this is a little picture of reassigning a case to its correct location on the map. All right, and the very last one under the fixed problem flag case specific icon is the wrong incident. And sometimes this does happen. If a case is located in the wrong incident, you can click and choose this option. Then below that, you're going to see a field that says choose the correct incident. As you click on this field, you'll see a drop down and you can scroll through the list and find the correct incident where this case belongs, and then click submit. Or you can also, if there is no incident open for that case, you can click check this box, the correct incident is not listed, and then click submit. Okay, so that is an explanation of the case specific icons. We'll go back and show you those icons. That's an explanation of all these case specific icons. And again, they're located on the top of the column of a case when you click on it in the system. All right, next, let's look at some additional work page features. There are 2 ways to view data on the work page. The map view is the default view. And this icon on the left-hand side of the page, right below the incident's name, shows you that you are in map view. This is the list view icon. So if you click this icon, instead of the map, it makes a list of each case, the type of work they're asking for, and then names, addresses, and additional case information. This is valuable a lot of times for command centers trying to find certain cases, and sometimes for phone volunteers that are involved in the special projects, special call down or callback projects, but would rarely be used by the typical phone volunteer. Okay, other special features of the map page. We'll talk about these features right here. And the first one right here is our social vulnerability index slider. This has a little circle that you click on and you can slide it back and forth. And as you move that slider button to the left, icons on the map will start to disappear. And the remaining icons show homes in the most socially vulnerable neighborhoods. So this will allow volunteer organizations to find people who live in the most socially vulnerable neighborhoods and be able to help them and give priority to them if they desire. More detailed information about that index and how the CDC comes up with this designation is located on blog.crisispreneup.org, this link right here, which is available on the Module 5 document. Okay, next, number 2 is layers. Now, layers, it's a subsection. It's broken up into subsections that you can view the data in an incident. And when you click on layers, it brings up the subsets that you can choose from. You can just show cases that are located in a specific state, a specific congressional district, a specific county. You can show cases that are organized by work teams, which is something done by the volunteer work groups, which isn't used very much yet at all. You can show cases by incident, and then there's also an option for a more specific customized version, which is not available for most people. Right, next to that is filters. So filters allow you to choose some parameters to also show you only specific cases. And there are general filters. When you click on filters, and I'll show you right here. When you click on filters, there are 6 different sets of filters. There's general, personal info, flags, work, teams, and locations. So general allows you to basically search by show me only the open cases, show me all the closed cases, unclaimed cases, etc. Next, we have flags filters right here. Flags filters allows you to, okay, show me all cases that are high priority or duplicate cases or marked for deletion cases. They correspond to the case-specific icon, the fixed problem flag, and the case-specific icons that we talked about just a little bit ago. And then work. So general, flags, and work filters are the main subsets of filters that are used by everybody. And so the work filters allow you to, okay, show me only cases who are asking for muckouts. Show me cases of everybody asking for a tarp. So those are the main filters that people use. The location filters, located right here, this option allows you to see cases within the response area of a selected organization. Some organizations are national, some are just local, and so you can see all the cases within the area of your organization's influence. Okay, next we have number 4, the download button. This download button, when you click on it, it will cause a CSV file to download onto your hard drive that contains all the data that your organization has access to for the specific incident. And CSV files can be opened in spreadsheet programs like Microsoft Excel. So this allows you in a spreadsheet form to see every case within the incident. It allows people to be able to sort through and count and filter things out on their own, and is a valuable tool for the needs it's used for. Okay, then the last little bit here In your black bar on the left-hand side of every page on the Crisis Cleanup website, underneath the phone icon is the My Organization icon. And this page has several features on it, but you'll mainly only be using one feature on this page, which is located right here, is invitation management. From this page, you can invite teammates by clicking on the yellow Invite Teammates button. And you can also review requests of the people you've currently sent invites to and the status of the people who have been sent an email invitation. So any person who has an account in Crisis Cleanup in an organization can send an email invitation to Crisis Cleanup to any other person within their organization. And to do that, again, you would go to My Organization under Invitation Management, click this yellow Invite Teammates. You will type in the email address of the person in your organization you're inviting. After you do this, this person's name will show up here under Incomplete Invitations. Also, a person within your organization who wants an account with Crisis Cleanup, they can request an invitation. And so these requests will show up here under Current Requests. And when you see those, you can click Accept, and it will send them the email invitation to Crisis Cleanup. So you can invite teammates and see the status of people you invited, and people without in your organization without a user account can also send a request that you'll see here that you can accept, and then they will be sent an email invitation to Crisis Cleanup. So this concludes a lot of the more advanced features of the website and the frequently asked questions that we have. And then module 6 briefly talks about some features of the website that are mainly geared towards command centers, the work organizations that are saving and printing out work order forms for their work crews. Thank you, and we'll see you in the next module.